Growing concerns over the impacts of President Trump's new tariffs, particularly for states that border Canada and rely on open trade with our northern neighbor. On Friday, President Trump raised levies on Canadian imports to as high as 35%, with a 25% on automobiles and 50% on steel and aluminum. Canada's Minister of U.S. Trade today saying he is hopeful that an agreement favorable to both countries can still be worked out.
We think, Ms. Brennan, that the economies of both countries are strengthened when we do things together. The trading relationship between Canada and the United States is unlike other partners. One description which I thought was very apt: we don't sell things to each other as much as we build things together. And that's why it's difficult in this relationship when so much is integrated, but we remain very optimistic.
Joining me now is Democratic Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. She's a member of the Energy and Commerce and Natural Resources Committees. And Congresswoman, thanks for being with us on a Sunday. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed an executive order this past week directing state offices to calculate and report the impact of these latest tariffs on your state. Her office claims that the tariff rate has raised costs and weakened the supply chain. How will these new tariffs and impact the companies that are coming out of Michigan, and what will that ripple effect look like for all of us that buy what they make?
It's good to see you this afternoon, and this is obviously an issue. If you live in Michigan, you're talking a lot about, especially because I'm a car girl. Tariffs are complicated, and the way that the tariffs have been managed, quite frankly, have been chaotic, and that's what worries me right now. Tariffs are a tool in the toolbox, and we're competing with China, and we can use them effectively. But what the president did in the last couple of weeks is penalizing us for, I agree with whoever created it, I'm using it a lot now. We do build things together with Canada. People have no idea. We've got the USMCA. The UAW of Canada is brothers and sisters with the UAW in the United States. And the president gave a 15% tariff to Japan and a 35% tariff to Canada that isn't part of the USMCA. That's giving Japan a competitive advantage over us in the domestic marketplace. That is not a level playing field. The other thing the governor is trying to do is that we do know that tariffs are increasing prices. But what she's trying to do is to get the facts, something that's not always something people are interested in, but we want the facts. What has happened to consumer costs? What is happening to that supply chain? When you meet with these suppliers these days, they are in really tight, tough, difficult spots. And some of them are going to close because what's happening. So it's complicated. Ford Motor Company has gone public with the need for relief. We're going to have to see. On the other hand, I was with UAW workers this morning. Some jobs have come back to Michigan plants. So it's a complicated issue.
It is a complicated issue, and there's so much conjecture out there about what may happen, what is happening. On MSNBC on Friday, we discussed the impacts of those tariffs with two Michigan mayors, a Democrat representing Lansing and a Republican representing Rochester Hills. Take a listen.
What you've seen even today in the last 24 hours, trying to figure out what country's being hit with what, because the auto industry really has so many different component parts, so many different areas that it has impacted, parts coming from all over the world. It's incredibly challenging for local businesses.
We're very concerned about the trading partner being Canada. This is where we go for parts. We send them across, they send them back. It's the easiest trading route. And now with tariffs, you're going to see this go up. It's a huge concern for my residents, for our workers, for our industry, for our businesses.
So echoing there a lot of the things that you mentioned, how concerned are you about the inability for some of these key companies in manufacturing, auto workers? How concerned are you that they're not going to have the forecastability they need in order to do their jobs and give the American people what they need to buy?
They don't have it, and that's part of the problem. Here is a reality. Businesses need certainty, and the only thing they haven't had since January is certainty. We are hurting our domestic auto manufacturers with the up and downness, the whimsical, let's do this today, let's do that tomorrow, traditional partners. Canada has been one of the strongest, most loyal partners we have ever had, and we are turning them into enemies. And we also, look, I worked hard I think NAFTA was the worst trade policy that we ever had. I worked hard to get the USMCA, which still has very serious problems in it. China can build a plant in Mexico and market it as a North American vehicle. That is not right and has to be changed. But this chaos, when you meet with the suppliers, they have built plants in, let's say, Mexico, told to do it by the OEM, which is, one of the major auto companies. And now they're being hurt. They don't know what the business is, like who's going to purchase from them, and nobody's helping them. It is total chaos. And who's hurting are the companies and the employees that work with them. And that doesn't even get to the increased costs we're going to be ultimately seeing.
Governor Whitmer said she'll work to blunt some of the impact of these tariffs on the state's economy with what she called common sense trade policies that lower costs for Michiganders. What does she have up her sleeve here, and what can Michigan and other states do to try to stem the tide of the impact on Americans?
So what she's done with the OEM that she put out this week, or the executive order, is let's get the facts. Let's figure out who's being hurt and how they're being hurt, and then go in. What she's got at the state level, quite frankly, isn't going to be as much as you would like to blunt it. But how do you get policies that will help improve or help reduce some of the bureaucratic impact or some of the tax laws? There's a ton of things that we need to look at, quite frankly.
Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, we appreciate your time and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.